So, it's gonna be like mine. Well, I got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and our thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off this slag heap is gravity.
And the good news?
That was the good news.
At current velocity, 53 seconds to end point.
Yeah. Bad news is, time is fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. The time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
This is the real tragic story behind Halo. What's going on, guys? I've been diving back into the Halo games again recently, despite the lack of content that's come out, and I just can't help myself. The gaming industry, at least for myself, has been really dry. I've enjoyed the resurgence of Battlefront and Helldivers and games like that, but there's really nothing new and innovative. At least not in the same way that Halo was. And honestly, maybe it could just be nostalgia. It could be that Halo's just got my heart as my all-time favorite gaming franchise. But I don't know what it is. I just can't get hooked on anything else. So here I am, back with this franchise that subsequently lets me down time and time again, which is why I'm here. In the midst of all my boredom, I decided it was a good idea to go through and try all of the Halos on Legendary. Not a good idea. Do not recommend Halo 2 on Legendary to anyone ever, unless you are a masochist. Big time. But it's done. Overall, it was a really good experience. It was rough. So I say all that to say that going back and playing through all the Halos again, well, at least some of them, reminded me of that magic feeling that Halo brings. Going through Combat Evolved, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, it was beautiful. Playing Firefight, multiplayer, all the campaigns, it was really amazing. It was eye-opening. And then there were the 343 games. And not to say that they're necessarily bad games. I don't dislike the 343 games. They just don't feel like Halo. I will say I think Halo Infinite was the best shot at that. Halo Infinite is a game that I dearly enjoyed. I bought the limited edition hard copy of it, poured hundreds of hours into the game, both the campaign and the multiplayer, but it still just doesn't feel the same. So that's where this idea of this video comes from. Halo doesn't feel like Halo anymore. And that's no knock on 343 necessarily, because we've seen this before time and time again. Look at Star Wars with George Lucas. After he sold Star Wars, the Disney projects, the sequels came out, and they were widely distasteful. People didn't like them because they weren't George Lucas's vision. So here we are with Halo, a game that was built off of Bungie's vision. And now with Bungie gone due to the licensing deal expiring, and 343 stepping in, trying to continue a vision that wasn't theirs in the first place, we're left with the product we have. And again, I'd like to restate, I don't dislike the 343 games. I think Halo 4 has a lot of value in it. Do I think it's way too complicated to understand the basic story of the game? Absolutely, of course. But is it a bad game? No. Halo 5, on the other hand, I don't know what happened there. I don't know who was in charge. I don't know what was going on. So we'll just have to disregard that one. And then up to Halo Infinite. Again, I don't think it was a bad game. I think it was a decent attempt at an open world Halo. It's just not the same as it was. So you've heard my gripes. You've heard the gripes of 1.5 million other Halo players since the time that 343 stepped in about the way that they handle things. And truth be told, it doesn't look like things will be changing. At least it didn't look like things would be changing. That was until Xbox's showcase event of 2024. That event blew me away, and I'm only now talking about it because I'm only now starting YouTube. But it really blew me away. I was surprised to see that 343 was taking accountability and taking steps in the right direction, listening to the fans as opposed to going their own way and trying to reinvent the wheel. And honestly, for that, I'm grateful, and it sounds like the majority of the community would agree with me. It's reassuring to know that they are now listening to the fans. Sure, it took, I don't know, a decade, call it, but we're here. So okay, I am so sorry for that. The showcase gave us the biggest news we may have ever received about a Halo game, and that is Unreal Engine being introduced. Now, I'm sure if you're a Halo fan, you've seen something about this, and even some of you, if you're not a Halo fan, you may have seen this as well. But I'm going to let some clips play out for the devs to show you their vision.
Let's make it happen.
Foundry specifically is based around the same concept of the Foundry in Halo lore. It's the place where Halo rings are born. It's not a game, it's a research project for our studio so we can prepare ourselves for the next steps of making Halo games.
The original Halo franchise was a graphics showcase. It was best in class. That's what Halo was when it first was released, and that's what Halo needs to be again.
So once Project Foundry had been approved, we took the entire creative team and we ideated on 3 locations, something old, something new, and something really alien.
We had the Pacific Northwest, which is sort of traditional Halo biome.
We were trying to shove as much foliage in there as humanly possible to make it really feel like you're on a hike in the, Cascades.
The Coldlands, which was the second biome that we took on, it was more of a technical showcase where we could play with shaders, we could play with deformable landscapes and terrains. Unreal affords us more opportunity than we've ever had in the past.
So yeah, seeing something like that, I don't see how somebody who's a true Halo fan at heart doesn't get excited. Hearing honestly the passion in these Halo Industries workers' voices. These devs really sound like they want to create something that's authentic to the Halo that we all came up on, that we know and love. Seeing Unreal Engine is stunning. I think it's a massive step in the right direction, because the focus in the past has been split between the engine and the story of the games, and it's kind of given us a canonical mess. One example I can think of would be the Banished in Halo Infinite. The Banished were more or less a Covenant remake, whereas if we were to rotate our focus to like a Halo Wars, they're much more of a gray area. They're true to themselves and nobody but themselves. So with a little more focus on their creative direction as opposed to an engine that they're trying to build, I think it's a very wise decision. And with that, I don't see a world where the next mainline Halo game we get isn't a lot more centered on what Halo actually is. It's going to be less of a Call of Duty remake. It's going to be less of whatever can sell the most money and make Microsoft rich. It's going to be true to what Halo is, especially considering that Halo Studios is remaking Halo Combat Evolved, and they have to revisit what made Halo so special all those years ago. Now, being realistic, do I think Halo 7 is going to be the best Halo we've ever seen? Honestly speaking, no. But do I have pretty high expectations given everything that I've seen? Yeah, and I think it's warranted as well. I think everything's in place to make a good Halo game. I think there's a solid foundation that was built up from Infinite with some slight retcons here and there. I think a very good Halo game can be brought up out of this, and I have hope for it. Is that false hope? Is that empty hope? Maybe. Maybe it is empty hope. I don't know. I can tell you I have a bunch of love in my heart for Halo, specifically Bungie, but Halo as a whole, so maybe there's some bias and some false hope. But I can tell you this. Whatever does come out next, whether it's the Combat Evolved remake or a Halo 7 or whatever comes out next, hearing that 343 got away from that name and rebranded to Halo Studios, hearing that there's new leadership, hearing that there's the possibility of a flood world, hearing all the things that are coming out that are just positive about the new Halo Studios, it makes me feel really good. And frankly, I think it should make you feel pretty good too. Now, what's next? I think what's next is myself, as well as you, as well as anyone else, should be giving constructive criticism and feedback to these new devs at Halo Studios, because they're needing ideas. They're needing the goods, the bads, the pros, the cons. They need feedback from us, the core of what Halo is, the fandom, to know what a good product is. Again, I think revisiting Halo Combat Evolved in a remake is going to help that a lot. But at the end of the day, this product comes down to what the fans want, which brings it down to us. So let's band together. Let's provide constructive criticism. Let's help make a good Combat Evolved remake and a good Halo 7 so that Halo has a future. Let's finish this fight in light of a better day. Fight hard and die well. Hey y'all, so this is obviously my first video. Let me know what you did and didn't like. I want to know. I want to know what I can get better at. I'm going to keep going. Halo's going to be my main thing. That's what this channel is all about. I do think that my main focus on this channel is going to be, at least in the meantime, Halo Infinite multiplayer gameplay, funny moments, clips, things like that. And I want to stick with Halo because of everything it's done for me. I want to return the favor. If I could grow up and have a little bit of a light so that I could shine it onto Halo and bring more people back to Halo, I would love it. So, again, let me know what I did and didn't do well. Let me know what you did and didn't like. Please feel free to like and subscribe. That would help out a lot. And yeah, be looking for 2 long-form videos a week. Maybe one kind of gameplay oriented and one more story oriented like this. So thank y'all so much for watching. This is The Kitchen Sink, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye-bye.